How's it going, dudes, and welcome to Stillwater. I found this on itch.io and thought it might be interesting. So here it is. So let's get this started. This is a work of fiction. The resemblance to any real-life people is purely coincidental. This game contains depictions of horror, mature themes, violence, and strong language. Viewer discretion is advised. Thank you. I'm sorry, but I can't stay here anymore, Nina. I feel like I'm going crazy. Calm down. If we can just talk it out. So many strange things keep happening after another. Every day there is this darn dripping sound. I thought it was just something leaking at first, but I just checked every faucet, every ceiling, every pipeline, and still, I hear it everywhere, constantly echoing in my ears. Oh, but the water. I find random pools of water disappear out of nowhere, just like the dripping. But it's at night. It's at night when it comes. I don't know if it's my paranoia, but I swear I can hear footsteps walking around the hallways, walking on pools of water. Then they walk, and they walk, upstairs and downstairs. Upstairs and downstairs, upstairs and downstairs. I'm not saying all that. And it goes on and on and on and on like that. But somehow it does come to an end. And it ends all in front of your grandfather's room. I don't know. I know that this is a lot, but you have to believe me. No matter how many times I clean, it just won't end. I can't stay here any longer. I'm sorry, Nina. It's okay. I understand. Thank you for taking care of my grandfather. Nina, please listen to me. I don't know what's happening around here, but the woman on the phone cautiously looks around before speaking, again in a hushed tone. Something terrible is lurking through this house. I don't know what it is, but please, as soon as you get back, take your grandfather and just leave this place. I can't just leave, that's my home. Please, Nina, this place is not safe. I don't know what you saw, but I can't just leave things like this. It's my home. It's my home. Something's weird with her now. Diner, 7 a.m. Amid a foggy morning, there sits a man by the corner of a booth. He drinks black coffee. Depending on his mood, occasionally there's a donut. And today, it was just black coffee. I swear, I've never seen that amount of paperwork in my life. A freaking mountain worth of it. You're a valuable member of our team, Hugo. My foot. I'm starting to believe that I was bamboozled into joining their agency. Huh. Hugo Laurent. age 30, takes a good look at his cup of joe and chugs it all in one sitting. Sorry, I took a long pause there. My eye was bothering me for a reason. He then continues to grumble to himself about last night's grueling work at the office. I really need to find a different job. As he contemplates his poor life choices, he looks out towards the early mist. There was something inherently terrifying about the fog to him, how it engulfs. Oops. Oh, why is my eye bothering me so much? Even if it disappears, it always leaves behind traces. Proof of it remaining. Even in a quaint little town like this, I can't even run from my fate, I guess. Hugo finally stares at the compiled newspaper clippings he put together. Some of them from recent events, but mainly all were past headlines of missing persons cases. No matter how many times I see this, it's still just as hard to look at. Fixing case after case, he can't help but remind himself that there is a reason for all of this. An all too personal reason. Seeing strange things come with a price. In the end, I'm the one doing this to myself. Sounds rough. Mind if I join? An annoyingly familiar voice interrupts his train of thought. He slowly looks up and you see the one responsible, although reluctantly. Good morning, Hugo. Hugo scowls, turns away from him, then he gestures the files and shows it. Oh, he then gathers the files and shows it back into the binder. Meanwhile, the tall man takes this as an initiative and sits at the opposite end of the booth. He greets the waitress passing by and orders himself the hefty body breakfast special with an extra plate. As usual, the waitress is happy to oblige and goes back to the counter to relay his order. The man then looks back at Hugo. He sees the empty cup and the now jumbled newspaper clippings. All the while, Hugo is trying to ignore him. You really should eat something with that black coffee. Now, not ordinary donuts today. I'm fine, Noah. I'm just not in the mood, okay? Not even a little. There is a momentary silence between them before Noah disturbs it once more. Well, too bad for you. I ordered a big breakfast for the two of us. Two? As if the world could grace Noah with an even more perfect punchline. The food arrives. Why did you order for two of us? Just eat what you want to eat. Don't worry about me. Wow, this looks so delicious, right, Hugo? Are you even listening to me? Come on. We both know that if you don't eat now, who knows when you will. I'm not about to let you faint again. Now open wide. Noah de Leon. Noah de Leon. Age 27. A natural born charmer. Is just as equally persuasive as he is threatening. With a pensive look, Hugo finally goes in and eats the generous spoonful without further complaints. It's good. Right? Good food will always help cheer you up. I got swept away again. Oh, by the way, the chief will be out for a business trip. She mentioned it will be for a couple of days. When did she tell? When did she tell you this? I didn't hear anything about it. Yesterday, I think. Yesterday? She told me to sort out the cabinets yesterday. She didn't mention anything about a business trip. I guess it was a pretty sudden one. Well, I mean, she did tell me to tell you. And lucky me, I know where you go every morning. You know what? I'm not surprised anymore. Well, what do you want to do? We didn't really have the day off. I'm gonna head back to the office. There's a couple of boxes I didn't get a chance to sort out. In that case, I'll come with you. Why, you could just rest for a day and pass this opportunity to get to know you better. Quit it. After their enlightening banter, two of them finish their breakfast, pay for their meals, and head to Hugo's car. As Noah opens to the passenger seat, he notices a bullet hound sleeping inside. The big dog stirs at the sound of the car opening and lazily stares at Noah. Sorry, big guy. He then closes the door while trying not to make too much noise to disturb its occupant. Colby. At the sound of his name, his heavy-lidded eyes slowly peek to see who called for him. It is his one and only partner, his human. As if finally realizing who he is or where he is, the old bloodhound stirs up from his sleep, pounces at Hugo, and proceeds to wag his tail uncontrollably. Good morning again, Colby. Had a nice nap? Colby, 8 years old. Hugo's most faithful and loving partner in crime. Has the biggest tendency to just sleep all over the place. No one is witnessing all of this from the back seat, chuckles to himself. He is amazed and slightly defeated at Hugo's sudden surge of energy. It doesn't matter how many times I try. When it comes to boosting up his mood, no one can beat Colby. 7:50 a.m. So during that time I was at the diner, and whatever amount of time it took us to get back here to the agency, it took 15 minutes. Alright. Dory headed back to the office. The space just the same as Hugo left it. A decent, organized mess. To his credit, for the amount of boxes he painstakingly went through, he believes he did a fair job. Albeit, it could have been better. Wow, you really outdid yourself, Hugo. It looks crowded. Ah, shut it, will you? I thought I was gonna get to it. Thanks, boy. Before you can continue to deserve head pats, he notices someone. A woman stands timidly peering outside from the storefront. The woman appears a bit frantic, disheveled and wearing ill-fitted clothes. She appears to be distressed about something. When she makes eye contact with Hugo, she immediately rushes in. I'm, I'm so sorry. I know that the close sign is up, but I saw you in and Are you alright, miss? I need your help. My grandfather, Before she can continue, Noah swiftly intervenes. It's okay, we'll hear what you have to say. Now please, why don't you take a seat? Noah gestures to one of the empty chairs. The poor woman hesitates for a moment before heavily sighing in relief. She then walks towards the corner of the room and sits on the sofa. Can you start off by telling us your name? I'm sorry for earlier. My name is Nina Mortimer. I need help watching over my grandfather tonight. Watching over your grandfather? Yes. I'm sorry, Miss Mortimer, but I don't quite understand. Is he in danger? I'm afraid he is. Miss Mortimer, if that is the case, wouldn't contacting the police be better? No. I've tried requesting their help, but they all gave me the same answer. There's nothing they can do about it. If only I knew who Luis was. Luis? Nina fidgets at this name. She looks to the side after reaching out from her bag for an antique letter. My grandfather, he received a cryptic message the other day. It didn't come with an address or the name of the sender. However, the only thing I did pick up was that name. As she hands over the letter, Hugo notices her hand slightly shaking. Whatever lies in this note must have shaken her this badly. Delicately, Hugo removes the contents of the envelope and unfolds it. At first glance, it seems like any normal message. A person named Lewis asked the other, Henry, to come meet him by the lake at midnight. Needing to share something important with him. However, what eerie striking this letter is not the message itself, rather at the bottom of the page, a sentence far more disturbing is written. I am coming for you, Henry. That is eerie. Were there any other letters like this? A few of them. I thought it was a sick joke at first, but this one. Alright. this one was different. Up until now, I've never heard of anyone by that name. Not a relative or a family friend. But they clearly know who my grandfather is. If I don't do something about this, I'll lose him too. Just by uttering the words alone, Nina breaks down. In a way, I didn't away her tear-stricken face. She begins to quietly sob to herself. As an act of comfort, Bobby sits closely to Nina while Noah fetches tissues for her. Hugo, on the other hand, is puzzled. This very well could have been a prank, but she seems certain that whoever or whatever this Lewis person is, they're coming. You want more tissues? I'll do it. I'll take on your case. For a moment, silence fills the room. Only stares directed at Hugo until Nina finally stands up and walks towards him. You'll take it? Hugo simply nods. Thank you. I don't know how much you don't know how much this means to me. We're glad to help, Miss. Nina is fine. Well, Nina, we'll do our best. Nina slightly smiles at Hugo before reaching into her bag once more and taking out a note. This is my address. I'll be sure to greet you once when you get there, Detective. She politely bows once more before heading to her car and drives back home. Once out of sight, Hugo turns to look at his cluttered desk. Still messy, but presentable. I guess I have to sort these out later again. Oh, it's 5:30 p.m. From the ongoing downpour to the quiet hums of the car, they sit in silence. Still miles off from their destination, Hugo constantly checks the rear view mirror. Noah, who usually checks his ear off, by now is sitting completely still. He looks out to the passing streetlights, reserved and distant. Hey, you're a lot quieter than usual. What's wrong? Huh, this is a surprise. Have you been looking at me, Hugo? No, you idiot. You usually just talk a lot, that's all. So you do miss me talking a lot. Just say it. I didn't want to offend Nina earlier, so I kept quiet until she finished. But it's her last name that caught me off guard. Have you heard about the Mortimers? They're a pretty distinguished family. Well, they used to be. What do you mean? They've been struck with so many tragedies that over time people began to believe they were cursed or something. Every other year, I would see a headline on the local news about one of the family members' death. And you know what's strange? All of them have been labeled as accidents. No foul play, no nothing. Just another unfortunate event for the family. Maybe I understand why she wouldn't go to the police. She probably thought they'd perceive her as a paranoid and hysterical. Or worse, crazy. I can't imagine all of this for Nina. And most of all, who knows what we'll find there. Is that why you decided to come with me? Well, partially. I'm more worried about you, though. Think of it this way. I'm the appointed driver. When you decide to do some pretty reckless stuff, I'll be there to drive you to the local hospital. Ugh. Besides, two are better than one. Exactly. I was fine with Colby coming with me. Well, have you heard that 3 is better than 2? Ugh. 6 p.m. Apparently we were almost there. Passing through countless dirt roads and steep cliffs, the estate reveals itself beyond the evergreen. Nestled and tucked away from prying eyes, it stands tall, looming from a distance. Hugo and Noah could only gaze at the sheer scale of the manor as they parked adjacent to Nina's car. Wow, to think she came all this way just to request us. It took us more than a couple of hours to get here. Maybe she really didn't have a choice. What do you mean? Come on, she's waiting for us. Immediately after exiting the driver's seat, a sudden sharp pain weighs heavy on Hugo's chest. Grasping tightly at his coat, he begins to grasp for air. His gaze hazes as he leans close to the car. Like a fish drawn out from sea, he desperately heaves. But this he harbors pales in comparison to the pain far more excruciating it is in the house. No, something far more sinister. He feels it. Someone is watching him. A piercing gaze fixed on him. Like leering at a bug waiting to strike. I'll never forgive you. What the? I need to hurry or else. Hey, are you alright? Noah calls out to him, snapping him out of his fixated trance. Colby cuddles his head against Hugo, whining with concern over his partner's well-being. Did you hear that just now? Hear what? That voice. It was so close to my ear. Is everything alright? Oh, I'm fine. Don't mind me. I'm just a bit winded. Out from the trip, that's all. I'll be happy to make you coffee at the very least. If it's no trouble. No, not at all. It's the least I can do. Once again, this subtle unease from Nina surfaces. But before you can get a chance to look further into it, she walked off towards the front porch without saying another word. Are you alright? You sounded like you were choking earlier. I said I'm fine. Besides, we're already here. We can't back out now. Listen to me. I think you should. Noah abruptly cuts his. Oops, my fingers. She stands there silently, as if contemplating something. Now, I know this may sound rude, but I didn't get the chance to know your names. Well, you were pretty out of it when you walked in. I'm really sorry about that. No worries. This is Detective Hugo Lawrence, his assistant Colby, and I'm his second assistant, Noah DeLeon. Oh, it seems he's so surreal, just like a cartoon. Nina meekly smiles before turning away from them. I haven't been quite honest with you, Detective Lawrence. Just like before, as if carefully choosing her next words, she decided that in this situation, words are not enough. You'll see for yourself what I mean. And with that, Nina enters the house, leaving the three to follow behind. Hugo is about to enter through the foyer when he feels a tug on his arm. Don't forget I told you, if something happens, let me know, right away. You'll be the first to know. And with that, Noah releases his grip on Hugo. They proceed to head in, not knowing what awaits them beyond the door. So, I'm gonna end this here. Not because I think this is gonna be a long game, even the H page says it's not very long, but it's because my eyes keep bothering me for some reason, and I don't know what's going on, so I'll finish this another day. But until then, if you guys enjoyed, hit that like button, and if you're new, please subscribe, and thank you all for watching. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next video.